anything to the Black community at that point that would give them confidence that he's able and willing to follow through on whatever campaign promises he makes this time around?
I'm not sure that any changes that he makes right now would actually change people's minds for the people who said that 20%, for example, that said that they support Donald Trump. And the reason why I say that is because this isn't just about Joe Biden. This goes back to other Democrat presidents that have not fulfilled their promises and have not tried to help the Black community. That includes Barack Obama, who is a big disappointment for a lot of African Americans in this country in reference to where he stood with helping people in the Black community. Joe Biden really doesn't have a Black agenda. And I think that's important for people to understand. It's one thing when you're running for president, you make these promises and then you don't fulfill them. And the Democratic Party, for a long time, they have pandered to the Black community. When Black people are asking for certain policies to be passed, they say the right rhetoric when they're running their campaigns, but once they're elected, they ignore the Black community. In fact, I feel like we're the only group where the Democratic Party actually panders this much to, and they just don't fulfill these promises. So it was only a matter of time that eventually Black people are going to look at both parties, and I think they should look at every party and independent candidates as well and say, is this really working for us? So I think going forward, it may be a little bit too late for a Biden presidency because we saw this with Joe Biden, we saw it with Barack Obama, we saw this with Bill Clinton. How much longer are Black people supposed to wait to get some type of concessions from the Democratic Party?
All right, Shalom. Shalom. I want to start saying all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, Ezra, Great Millstone, and Shalom, Wakasah, Laha Bakyar, which is a peace and mercy to the elect throughout the four corners, wherever you may be. I'm the brother Amar from the branch of GMS Cleveland. Coming back at you with another video, and real quick, man, she said an earful, so-called Black woman, and like I said, she said a lot. Well, I was going to hit some precepts and the Lord to be edifying. She said something about Biden doesn't have a Black agenda or something to that effect, which that is obvious because he himself is an Edomite, and he has been given orders, and he is pushing an agenda basically to keep so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans at the bottom. And this is something that obviously our people don't seem to understand, or at least want to acknowledge, that the enemy, the chief enemy of our nation, Esau, Edom, the Edomites, man, woman, and child, they hate you, and they don't have any plans to make your lives better. But anyway, it doesn't matter who they get in office. All of them have the same agenda. And even if they have a so-called Black face, like Obama, he has the appearance of an Israelite, but he himself is an Hamite. At least that's what a lot of brothers perceive, myself included. Nigga's definitely not one of us. But anyway, it doesn't matter who. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you get in there. Even if you get a so-called legitimate Israelite or a so-called Black person or Latino, they can actually be an Israelite. It doesn't matter. Like if they get inside that White House, they are indeed being controlled and manipulated to further like the elite's agenda. Okay, let me get this, man. This is the Book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us, man. And this goes for majority of our people, man. All right, the elect are going to come to the realization that you can't trust this man and his system in its entirety, and they're going to completely abandon the beliefs of this system. All right, and what is pushing. All right, our people are watching for a nation that cannot save them, and they have to get it through their heads that nobody is going to buy you, nobody's going to redeem you and save you from this current condition that you're in, man, which is being at the bottom pretty much of every totem pole, whether that be financial, security, You know what I'm saying? Wealth, health, whatever. Excuse me. You are going to remain at the bottom as long as this man is in rulership. This is the book of Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them. Right? And who smote us, man? When you look at like the nations, starting with Esau, Edom, the chief heathen nation, he is the one that's continually destroying you Israelites, man. He is the one that's continually dragging you through the mud and continue to causing you to be at the bottom, man. Through his laws and legislation, his judicial system. It says, "But shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth," man. Right. So eventually, the elect will wake up, and they will eventually, come to the realization that this man and his system, along with the rest of the heathens, they don't have their well-being and their benefit at the forefront. So they will eventually abandon this man's system. That's what the remnant will come to grips with and understand. It says the remnant, verse 21, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's basically what it is, man. The remnant will eventually come to grips with, like I said, man, the understanding that this man does not have their benefit at the forefront, and they would basically say, "To hell with this man, to hell with his system," and eventually return to the Lord and just trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua and the scriptures. All right. Let me get this, man. Let me see. It's the book of Isaiah. Let me see. This is the book of Isaiah 30 and 11. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise his word, and trust in oppression and perversions, and stay thereon. Not only do you despise the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right, and not only do you trust in oppression and perversions, but you stay thereon. You get comfortable. You just like marinate in wickedness, man. When you just stay there, like I said, because when you stay somewhere, you get comfortable, man. All right, you basically decide to make that place like your home in a sense. All right, so our people have got comfortable in Babylon the Great, man, and they want to actually stay here spiritually, physically, and mentally, man. They don't want to get delivered from this place, man. They love it here, just like in Egypt, man, where Jake was, when the Lord used Moses to bring Jake out of Egypt into the wilderness. They was complaining and bitching, man. All right, and they wanted to go back into Egypt, and they was complaining about the leeks and the garlics and how they was eating good, and how Moses brought them there to the wilderness and died. It's the same thing, man. This is verse 13, man. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking coming suddenly at an instance, man. Right, man, because you trust in oppressions and stay thereon. This breach, when all hell, when things start to get bad, is gonna fall on you, man. It used that parable. It says, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, man, whose breaking coming suddenly at an instance, man. When you look at a wall, if you ever had a ceiling leak, it starts off small. That ceiling leak, all right, the water drips, the little drops, but overall, if you don't fix the problem, that leak starts to get bigger and bigger, and it starts to swell, and then eventually the whole fucking ceiling caves in. All right, and then you have a big problem. So that it will be likened unto the trouble that's coming. Basically, JT, the Jacob trouble that's coming soon. Jake doesn't see that. Look, these little small problems that Jake doesn't think are big problems will eventually turn into big problems, man. All right, and that's what we're trying to tell Jake, man. You have to understand to prepare your mind that, look, man, eventually these small problems will become big. All right, and he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shred to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit, man. Yep. Yeah, so man, that's basically it, man. That's basically it, man. Our people are continually trusting upon trusting in oppression, and continually trusting in the system, man, and what this man has to offer. All right, let me get this last one. This is Proverbs chapter 25, verse 19. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint, man. And that is very painful, man. All right. And compare you trusting in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is likened unto a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. All right. If you ever had a broken tooth, that shit hurts, man. All right. So you don't want to trust in an unfaithful man that's always reneging, that has empty words, that's not faithful in what he says. You don't want to have trust in man in a time of trouble, because it's going to be to your detriment. And that's what we are here to tell you. That this man is going to lead to your downfall and destruction, man, because you trust in him. Let me get this last one, man. It's the book of Proverbs, Psalm chapter 118, verse 8. It says, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Right, because we know Yahweh Shem Shah is faithful and true. We know that man is not. We know that man lies, and that they change. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes, man. So yeah, man. It is better just to go with the Lord, man, than to trust in man, especially the devil, man. All right, he's the ultimate deceiver, man. So yeah, our people that continue trusting upon this man and believing in what he has to offer, man, keep trusting in him, man. And we'll see what that leads to, man. With that, I'm saying shalom.